everyone, welcome back. It is Wednesday afternoon, evening, late night, middle of the night if you're on the African continent. Welcome to another Facebook Pros live stream here in cyberspace. So glad that you could join us. Hope you're having a great week. I know that I am having a spectacular week. Seems like all these weeks are just lining up for me, and I just count myself blessed. I'm truly, truly grateful for all that I do have, and especially for my friends here in the shower door industry. Now, I mean, I don't know how many people are as lucky as me who get to have a whole bunch of really cool, really funny, fun, professional, smart, talented people in the industry that they're a part of, that they can just bounce stuff off of, learn stuff from. I mean, it's wow. I mean, just got lucky, I guess. But all that, I guess what I'm trying to say is thanks, and really appreciate you guys and gals for just being part of that. So anyway, just before we went live, Bill Dobman started to lay some gems on us about marketing and stuff. And I thought, man, that's too good not to share with everybody. So I'm going to have him kind of repeat everything he already said and maybe just expound on what you were just talking about, Bill.
So it's funny because lots of times we're not here about marketing because it sounds like everybody's so darn busy that marketing is the last thing on their mind. But Mike brought up a good point. So let me preface this whole thing. And before I even start, Chris, we're all thankful to you for putting this group together, by the way. It wouldn't be anything without your perseverance, your consistency, and being the leader of the group. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yep. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, guys.
Seconded.
Here, here.
So here's what we were talking about. Mike had said to me before we started that he had a question to Keith, and he called Keith and left a message so that Keith would call him back with hopefully some answers. But instead of getting a regular phone call back, Keith's favorite tool is FaceTime. So he would FaceTime Mike back. And Mike was saying how impressed he was, and it really was an impactful call because most of the times you're lucky to get a call back from anybody. But when you do, and it's a FaceTime, just something about it just sticks here. And I was starting to say that we do that often, and that's part of our sales training. Is let's just say as the sales rep goes out to somebody's house and they do an estimate, they leave and they don't get the job at the time. Lots of times they'll sit in their car and before they leave, they'll call the customer back and say, hey, there's one other thing that we forgot to talk about, you know, where I did that center line or whatever it is you're talking about, but it's the one more connection. The other thing is the guys in the showroom that receive calls from customers. Once you get their cell phone back, you can turn around and FaceTime and say, hey, I'm in the showroom. Let me show you the door that we just talked about. And I'm right here. It saves you a trip to the showroom, but I want you to see exactly how the door swings in and out or how the pivots hold the weight of the door compared to wall mounts or how close we can get the glass to the wall. So the gaps are very, very small. And it's not so much that information you're giving them, although that's very important, but it's the impactfulness that it makes when you get that connection. People now get to see the voice on the other end. It's no different than when you meet somebody in person. I've known Max Perlstein a long time, but when I saw him at the glass show and I met him face to face, it just gives you that bond. It's totally different. I mean, I was following Max for years, but when you meet the person in person or face to face, like on these Zoom calls, it's much more powerful.
Yeah, and Max is probably about 70% more spectacular in real life, you know, and he was just on the phone.
Did you feel when you met Trump?
Yeah. Oh my God.
That'll never leave you, ever, will it?
Laura, I went back and I was telling people in the shop and they said, oh, you're not going to wash your hand again. I said, it's funny you say that because I told him not to wash his hand.
That's good. Yeah. There's nothing like
Did want to put a disclaimer out there, everybody. We advocate washing your hands. So
Yes.
this is not medical
Excellent.
advice, but
Yeah.
wash your hands.
Just good personal hygiene. I mean, we are in the industry, right? We are the shower door professionals.
That's right. That's right. We're keeping it clean out there.
Absolutely. But, you know, we're talking about impactfulness and how you can impact people. Obviously, Mike has got this indelible memory now of receiving a FaceTime, and he's now thinking of putting it as a tool in his arsenal when he's calling a customer, a client, or whatever it is. Even if it's a client you want to meet for lunch, call them with a FaceTime and get that interaction. It's really powerful. So you ought to try and think of how else can you do it. You can take selfie videos and email it to a client. So instead of sending them an email, you could put it right there on your computer screen and say, hey, I was just thinking about this. Let's meet for lunch next Friday. But do it as a selfie video and send it. It is much more powerful.
That's a great idea.
It's funny that never even occurs to me to do that. But yeah, you've got that tool. I mean, if you have an iPhone, right, you've got FaceTime, and you can see, like, if you're messaging somebody, you can see that they're you know, an Apple user too. So you know that you can. That's an option. And here's Keith right now. So I'm gone. Must have heard us talking about him.
Here's a ring.
Yeah, they're burning. But yeah, you know, and I remember that LinkedIn added this feature, and Keith, of course, will know this because he's like the pro of LinkedIn for sure. But they added a feature where you can send a message by video.
Yes.
And so why not do that? You know, I mean, there's so much that can be lost in a text, right? And the context and the emotion of it, and you can be really pretty easily misunderstood because you're being so brief. And if there's any kind of an emotional attachment, it's easy to be misunderstood. But if you send a little video, even if it's just a few seconds long, they can get your inflection. They get, you know, you can smile, you know, and if you're just teasing them about something, they get that you're teasing them or whatever.
Exactly.
Body language, I think, is important.
Yeah. I mean, it's stuff that you can't get in a text. How many times do you misinterpret somebody's text because you thought they were mean or angry or whatever, and it was totally misinterpreted? It's how you read the text. FaceTime, you're reading people face to face. It's really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's unexpected. Even though it's there on your phone, it's like anybody can use it. It's like whenever I get FaceTime from somebody, I'm like, oh, wow, I'm kind of surprised by it. And I don't think I've ever turned one down.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like I always accept it. So
Sure.
that's kind of funny. Yeah, that's a great idea.
It's a great idea. Great tool.
And you can, like Bill was saying, you can show people stuff. Like if there's something visual that you want to explain to somebody, there's a lot of stuff that you just cannot really communicate when it comes to, like, maybe the configuration of a shower. And they're trying to tell you, oh yeah, it kind of, you know, steps up like this or it goes around like that. And you're trying to imagine what they're saying, but you're never really sure you're getting.
Well, how many times are you in your showroom and you're receiving calls from customers that are trying to get an estimate, trying to explain to you in your terms, and they're novice, so their terms aren't the same. But if you said to them, hey, can you turn that into a FaceTime and we can talk about it and flip the phone around and show me in real time? Oh my gosh. Now they have a really deep bond with you. The chance of you getting that job is skyrocketed because you took the time to do it. It's just so much more.
Absolutely.
Hey, Bill, I'm going to segue off of that. It's something that you just said that I thought of. One of the closing percentage right now is really high. And obviously, I think as it slows down, it's going to get a little tougher to keep the closing percentage. But one of the issues that we have, and I think you guys are probably struggling with, is, you know, with so many guys jumping into tile, the pitch on the curb, and especially curbless, where these guys aren't putting their fall lines in the right place. And they want us to put the door either outside the fall line or right on the fall line for these narrow depth showers. And then the water comes out and, well, oh, don't worry, I won't hold you accountable. The phone rings. We all need to meet. There's water. So coming off of your idea, it would actually be a great idea. We've got all our tile guys' contact information. Do a quick little video and say, hey guys, if you're doing curbless, it's real important. Blah, blah, blah. Get your fall line out here. So when we put the glass here, neither of us have to come back to this job. Text it all out to everybody. You know they're going to watch it. And all of a sudden, because we've been working on like this seminar for tile guys of where to put your fall lines, you know, the angled walls, all the things we've talked about.
Sure.
And actually might be a quicker way and a more direct way to go, hey guys, here's our, you know, situation we ran in today. We thought you'd want to know as a tile guy, blah, 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 blah. And then just pop those out. And then when they get them, they'll be like, oh, what's this? So that's a really good idea. I like it.
We could do it as a group too. Each of them pick a situation that you have. Each one do a video, and we give them to Chris. He puts it together, and then you can keep a library on your phone and just send it to whoever you want. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that same thing. You know, that Bill's saying is like if we could share these, because then you know, that would be cool. So then it wouldn't always be me that I'm sending it to, but somebody else from the industry saying, hey, this is how we do it. In a way that might be add a little bit of credibility. It's just Chris. That's Chris trying to get out of doing work again. You know, he never wants to cock anything. He's just lazy.
Do you even know what silicone costs right now, Chris? Do you have any idea?
I'm pretty sure it's not as much as gas. Oh, it's probably a little more than gas.
It's more than gas.
Oh, that just goes to show. I guess I don't know. But but getting back to marketing, you know, I mean, Bill, you're saying, yeah, you know, nobody's thinking about marketing, you know, because everybody's busy. But the truth is, marketing gets you a better share of the industry, right? I mean, if you're maxed out, right, you can only do the amount of work you're doing. You really can't do any more. Then really what you want to do is do better work. You want to do a little bit higher end. You want to do a little bit more expensive stuff, right? I mean, because the only way you've got to grow, if you can't increase the amount of volume, is to, you know, take the ticket size. So, and that's where marketing is really effective, I think. And especially,
And it's more than that, Chris, because good marketing is going to get you employees.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Look at this company. They're progressive. They're marketing. They're doing this. They keep the work in the pipeline. And look at the houses I get to go in if I work here. You know, so there's an added benefit of marketing, very much an added benefit. And a lot of us forget about the best and easiest marketing is your existing customers, people that you've done work for and are already happy with you. You just use something like Constant Contact and send out emails periodically, new products, new location opening, you're showing off a new truck, new logo, you're just rebranded, whatever it is. Brian Schwartz just opened a new shop. You might want to show that. Billy's redoing his shop. He could send out emails. Hey, stop by our new shop, see the new products that are offered. That's all part of marketing. It's just making your company more aware out in the field. And then somebody's going to say, oh God, I remember that company. They did a door for me. My son needs a job. That might be a great place to work. So again, just keeping your name out there for exposure is so important. So it's not really just about selling shower doors. It's really getting your name out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot of like what they refer to as like branding. Right? You know, your brand out there and
right,
like that. You know, I don't know where Shannon. Where's our marketing guy who joined us last week? He was not here.
Nadeem, I know when you started talking about it, I'm like, oh, where is he? Yeah.
I like that guy. Does he work for you?
No, I just contacted him when he was talking about something marketing related. And so I contacted him. I wanted to learn more about like what tools he was using and stuff. And he just started going on about marketing and, you know, little details and little aspects and stuff, maximizing everything he does, it sounds like. So yeah, I really enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah, he's sharp. He's really sharp.
Yeah. He's listening in most times.
Right.
We'll probably see a chat come up pretty soon.
Cool. Nadeem,
he's here
send a little chat.
He's in my part of the area. He's in the Northwest, a little farther. We're not in the same, we wouldn't have the same customers, but 5:30. So it can be a little tough to make sure that you're ready to jump on a call at 5:30.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Absolutely. Well, that's kind of a cool thing too about this this call is that it's not always the exact same group. I mean, people kind of cycle in and cycle out, and there's some real regulars that we always have, right, Tim?
Right.
Which is awesome. I love that. But it's also cool that we have new people from time to time.
I'm going to steal some of Bill's point. I think it's especially true for the smaller guys that don't have a marketing budget. You probably get calls from Angie's List and everybody and TV stations and radio stations and newspapers and shopping cart ads and all that stuff. And we could do really great. And I think, Bill, if I can take the liberty of saying what I think part of what you're saying is you really want to have an identity, and you can use Facebook and short videos and everything to create that identity. And you don't have to reach 1 million people. And it's an identity that works for your employees. It's an identity that works for your customers. It's an identity that works for your contractors. And who are you? Are you very buttoned down and we're going to get, we run a tight lead time? Are you, hey, I'm the expert guy? And, what is your identity? And I think if you look at D3, they've done an excellent job of their identity, a little fun, serious, growing, exciting. That's what you pick up every time you see their stuff. And you can be that whether you're one guy or you're 200 guys, however many you have now, Bill. But I think sometimes as a small guy, I struggled with it, what advertising works. And so you go into this thing for 3 months and then it doesn't work. And you go into that thing for 6 months. And with social media, you're not going to become a star necessarily, but what you want to do is just create an identity and use it and grow it.
Without a doubt. You want to be the household name. Somebody told me a long time ago when you were doing computer programming that your brain is just like a computer. So when you go to name your business, you're starting a business, put the name of what you do in the business. Because there's a guy down the street that's ABC Glass, but people don't think of ABC Glass when they go to buy shower doors. If you're going to sell shower doors, put shower doors in your name. Showcase shower doors, my shower door, whatever it is, right? So our competitors down in Naples, I guess they didn't get that because, they're like Fort Myers Glass, Naples Glass, but they're not shower doors specific. And it really hurts because when you really need it, your brain is going to recall just like a computer, the quickest thing, the easiest organization. I need a shower door. Oh, my shower door. It's just right there. Yeah. It's a jump for them to go to, ABC Glass right around the corner. It just doesn't relate. It doesn't sound right to them.
And that was a struggle we had, Bill, for years because I bought an existing company since 1957. Clinton Glass had been around. So we're not Clinton Glass, but we had several conversations about changing the name because we go through something that you probably don't go through anymore. Somebody comes to the door. I need picture frame glass. I need a piece of glass. You know what you ought to do? More of this table glass. You ought to do that. And the money's in shower doors. So right now it could change. Architectural glass, but really all that little custom cut plate glass where they think you're McDonald's, they come in and they say a size and you've got a little Giappetto in the back there cutting a piece of glass. There you go, $1.89. That doesn't keep anybody in business.
No, you're going backwards when you do that, actually. So when we first started D3, Doug wanted to make glass for everybody. He said, hey, we're a manufacturer. Glass. And then we started running numbers and we were losing money doing that 1/4 inch glass. People wanted to do 1/4 inch, order it by noon and have it the next day. Right. We were running our machines ragged. Yeah. And a tempering furnace, it has to crank up faster RPMs to cool down 1/4 inch glass fast enough, using more energy for less money. It didn't make sense. It just didn't. Yeah. So we got rid of 1/4 inch glass and we're only doing 3/8 and up.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I've got the same issue as Greg. We're just now transitioning away from insulated glass into shower doors and wine rooms only, and we have to find an outlet for all those phone calls, and those phone calls dominate all of our time. But at least the glass won't be dominating all of our time. Running around all over town, making those good connections with customers, but not making the money that we need to be making. So you're right, Greg, the money's in shower doors.
Right. Insulated glass does not translate into shower doors. That was part of the other philosophy was, well, if we sell insulated glass next year, they're going to need a shower door. And that just doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
No.
You might as well sell windshield glass. I mean, if you want to talk about low margin products. So yeah, I think part of that marketing that you've got to work on is get more shower door customers. And we just make a list. We just have a pre-made list. My recommendation is get a list of 3 or 4 people, call a couple of people, say, hey, we don't want to do insulated anymore. Will you take the insulated work? And hey, by the way, if you get a shower door customer, you don't feel like it, give me a holler. And so we just have lists. We actually give customer a list and say, here you go. Here's 3 or 4 shower and glass companies that don't do shower doors. And here you go.
Yeah, we're working on that now. But like you, we have a name, Chattanooga Premier Glass, Clinton Glass. I mean, that doesn't, just like Bill said, that doesn't say shower doors.
Yeah.
So, but like you, I'm not willing to give up the name because the name and the phone number is the business.
You can have
if
two.
I sold,
Can you add
You can
it?
have two.
I could,
again?
I
but-
thought about
Just make it a division.
Mom.
because
Yeah.
the lady,
but
well, the company's 30 years old, but I've only owned it for 4. But she named the company Shower Shop. And most people think we remodel showers. They don't
Right.
realize glass. We do the glass work, So we've got a little caption underneath it that custom shower doors and mirrors underneath the title. So, but still, yeah, it's still a problem.
if you wanted that's a problem. If you want to do insulated glass, we have the other problem. We don't want to do insulated glass. And so how do we communicate that? But again, we still want the company is the name, in my opinion, the company is the name and the phone number. And if I sold that, then I have to rebuild everything from scratch, even though I'm 14 years in. If I do another division, like Bill just mentioned, now I'm still in insulated glass. So
For now.
For now. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'd bring in the shower door name if you could. What is your name now? Chattanooga Premier Glass?
Yeah.
Chattanooga Premier Showers. I mean, something that keeps
Yeah,
part of the
I do
name and brings in the shower.
right.
And a DBA is possible too.
Sure.
My previous, we also bought our business, and the previous guy said, hey, you got to use this. I set up the DBA, Shower Door King. And I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. I wouldn't recommend that, but something
No,
like
I
that.
don't have to
It's
use
on the
that.
wrong, right track, wrong name. But yeah, DBA.
Hey, so Shower Door King is open.
Shower Door King. That's
Go
nice.
for it.
Hey,
It's all
Round.
yours.
Can I go ahead and take that? Nobody wants it?
yeah, premium
I
shower
haven't
door
paid
king.
any of the DBA. I haven't kept it registered. I think you can have it safely.
I'm registering it right now.
We're gonna have to fight over it.
.com. Showerking.com.
Yeah, but so many of us suffer from that. Well, lots of businesses suffer from that. You get into business and you want, flexibility, and maybe we used to do commercial stuff, and there are so many people that swear by commercial, and that's the way to go. And you're trying to kind of leave your options open and not pigeonhole yourself, but then later on you go, here's where I ended up. It happens.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about this a lot, but it's the 80-20 rule, right? The Pareto principle that 80% of what you accomplish generally comes from 20% of what you do. And it's like, if you can figure out what's really working and focus in on that, you can exponentially increase your productivity by just trying to figure out what is that 20%. And it's always, counterintuitive to back away from something or feel like you're leaving something on the table by doing what you're talking about, changing your name. Like, I changed the name of my company. My company was originally called Santa Cruz Showcase. And I actually started out as a retail display manufacturing company. That's what I was going to do. So get out, here's something that one guy can do without any help. There's all these stores, like high-end jewelry stores, stuff like that. They need display cases. I'll build, custom display cases. I did that for a while, but then I found my way, into other things, and then ended up doing just full service glass, under that name, Santa Cruz Showcase. But it was a thing of where, well, what do you do? Because the word glass wasn't even in the name. So, but in spite of that, I was able to get customers and drum up business. And then eventually I decided to specialize in shower doors. And I did. I went ahead and changed the name to Showcase Shower Door Company. And it was a great decision.
So Chris, do you remember when you did it? Do you know what year that was?
I think that was 11.
Okay. And have you been documenting your sales? Did you see an increase as soon as you changed your name?
No, not as soon as I changed my name. But I didn't see a decline either.
Okay.
Because I already had, I'd already established some relationships. And
so how long after you changed your name did you see an increase?
Well, that's a good question. I'd have to really research that. But, well, it really wasn't the changing of the name. It was really when I started saying no. When I started saying no to other stuff other than shower doors, that's when business started to take off. And it's so weird. And I drove my wife crazy. I mean, she couldn't believe it. I'd tell her, look, we're not going to do this anymore. She's like, oh, how are we going to do that? How are we going to not do stuff? And it's like, well, just trust me. I've got a feeling about this, and thank God she was, willing to go along. But yeah, and it's the more that I've narrowed my focus, the busier I've gotten. It's really true, to where now I can barely keep up anymore. And I say no to almost everything. If I start saying no to everything, I will be so busy I won't get any rest at all.
Just be so busy and rich you won't care.
Yeah,
but that's actually great. I think that's great advice, because we did the same thing. We used to do screens. We used to do storm panels. We used to do fireplace glass. We used to do, oh gosh, name it, picture frame glass, auto glass before I bought the company. So just about everything got done. And shower doors and mirrors now. And lots of days we don't want to do mirrors. So that's where we're down to now. And it's absolutely right. Your business will take off. You're spending way too much manpower on that little stuff. And people are going to tell you how important it is because they can't find anybody else to do it, but there's not enough volume there to keep you busy.
Right.
But equally true to the name, I would say also have a URL for your website that's specific to your business. So, I spent a crap load of money to get my URL, showerdoorguy.com, because Shower Door Guy is my name of my business. So when I did that, that made a big difference. It continued the growth. It was huge.
Yeah, I think that might be even more important. Your URL may be more important to say what you're doing than even your business name.
Mm-hmm.
Because that gives you the rankings, on Google and all that stuff.
That's right. One product I would like to add and maybe talk to you guys about, and we can put it off to another day or later tonight, but wine rooms or wine enclosures, wine display cases. I'm getting a lot of people starting to ask about that. And my idea was, if there could be a rack that could be incorporated with mirrors on a back wall, then we can create the glass partition in front and have something that would be, easy to put together and easy to market with good margin.
Bill knows a lot more about wine rooms than I do, but for us, wine rooms are showers without silicone. We're like Chris,
It's perfect. Yeah.
That's what I do. I do wine rooms.
You don't get any calls on leaks. We aren't dealing with anything on, we aren't dealing with any mirrors or glass shelving. That to us is a time sucker and a dragger down. So we don't get in, we've got a wine display that we're almost done with for people to see a wine, wine room display in the showroom. And we're not putting any mirrors on the back wall, no glass on the shelving, nothing, just the front, just the heavy glass front, frameless, and then put in some simple wine rack storage so people instantly get the idea. Because we're like everybody else here getting the call for it. And I know Bill's on the front edge of this, but show them you can do it and put it in.
Well,
Yeah.
do you have any suggestions on what kind of racks for the wall?
Just go on Amazon. There's a ton of little wire racks, something simple. You just want to look like a display that,
Wineenthusiast.com.
Wine Enthusiasts or Vintage View is another one.
Right.
Get
Vintage-
Racked also has some pretty cool little racks.
I didn't hear that one.
Get Racked.
Get Racked.
Get Racked.
Yeah.
see
That
their
might be
name.
the website.
See, Bill, their name is in the product that they
Right.
Go back. Vintage Views.
Vintage View, just singular, VIEW. Vintage View.
Okay.
Keith uses them a lot.
Okay.
They were at they were at the glass show.
Okay. And then Get Racked. And then there was another one in there.
Yeah, let me verify.
Wine enthusiast. Wineenthusiast.com.
Okay.
He remembered Get Racked though, didn't he?
Yeah. I might have just made that up though. I'm not sure.
So you're talking about building the whole room with the racks and everything?
Yeah, ours is like 3 foot deep. It's all tiled on the inside. We had a tile company do the tile.
Right.
And then we're just installing these racks on the wall, just simple racks, throwing wine bottles in it and put glass across. So they just walk in and go boom.
Yeah,
But you're
when
not
you go
doing
out-
that
when you
at
go out
a
and
customer
do it,
home.
You're just supplying the enclosure, aren't you?
Yeah, we're just doing the glass in the showroom, and then
Yeah,
in customers' homes, we've done them a lot of time. We just do the glass, but again,
Yeah,
our
just do the
showroom,
glass. The people
Yeah, we do
already
the
have
glass.
all their.
right?
the
We have a
racks
big
like that.
shower showroom. We have 27 shower displays. So
Yeah.
this is one more display that we're putting in. We get a lot of foot traffic in our
I
showroom.
had a lady
I've seen it.
today,
It's impressive.
she's gonna do all the racking and stuff. We're just supplying the glass,
Correct. Yep.
close it in.
Again, staying out of those personal choices. Yep.
I've got
Hey,
it
on those
correct.
wine rooms, do you guys put any kind of, if there's temperature controlled, are you using vinyl seals and things like that to, minimize, the or to help control temperatures on
Yeah.
that? We've done cigar rooms, some wine rooms, but I'm just curious what you're doing.
Just do seals.
Yep. We do seals on them.
I don't tell them it's 100%.
Do you
Correct.
silicone, if you're butt glazing your glass, are you siliconing, the joints?
We like
Most of them are
to use,
just display rooms. Sorry.
we like to use the little fuzzy seals, the little fuzz things.
Yeah.
And
Rule pile.
we find that like when we first got into it, we were thinking that everyone wanted to have it completely sealed up and that was going to be a big thing.
Right.
We found that like 50% of the people who ask us about it, they just want something that looks cool. They're not even,
Yeah.
they don't even care about the HVAC or the temperature control. But when they do have temperature control, you got to put a lock in there. Otherwise the door opens up. Learned that on the first one. That was fun.
What type of hinges are you using?
We like to use the CRL commercial stuff. So the P8, the 350
Bottom hatching.
hydraulic on the bottom, and then the
Yeah.
PH21, something like that on the top.
They
And then
use little hydraulic European hinges.
Yeah. Like the Bola patch fittings.
right.
Yeah, those are the ones I've used.
Well, it has nice ones too. Yeah, we want to
Bola
try
also
those.
has anybody ever used that fitting between the 3/8 glass? It's a vertical clear, like
I just ordered it. I haven't used it yet.
I've seen it.
it's slick.
Is it? I
slick.
ordered 1/2 inch and 3/8 because I've got
Yeah.
a pretty big window
And it's got a
wall.
little chamfer. It's got a chamfer on it. And
Okay.
boy, does it make a clean joint. Way better than silicone. Way better for your office glass. Way
What's
better.
it called, Greg? What's it called?
It's almost like an I-beam shaped. I don't even know it's from Bola, BOHLE.
I know what
And-
you're talking about. I like
and they-
those. When I do use seals, like for shower doors, I like to use those. They've got two little soft legs, right?
They basically, if you picture the end of your glass has two chamfered ends and a flat edge, it's exactly the opposite of that. And then where it butts into the other glass is these, so it looks like a capital I, a tiny little capital I. And then we use it for like office butting glass where where you're just not, it solves so many problems.
So it has 3 legs, not 4 legs.
It's like a capital
cool.
H, right?
Yeah,
It's
it
a
has 4 legs.
capital H, not a lowercase h.
Right, it's a capital
Yeah.
H, but it's the
Got it.
H's are very, it's like a capital I. Looks like
More
an
like
I
an
beam.
H, really.
Yeah,
Not
and then
just-
they have one for the.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yep,
It's really
yep.
good. But
Got
and
it.
they have one for the corner too, which is really cool. So
I've also got
Are
one
you-
that I just ordered some for. It's it doesn't have the legs on it. They've got this little tool that you run. It's, the width of the glass, and it's in a roll, and it's double-sided adhesive, and it's
Yeah.
like an ultra clear, and it bonds together, and it's supposed to keep out water. You can use it on window walls and stuff like that for
Yeah.
external use, and so I'm gonna try that as well.
interesting.
3M
this-
tape. Is that the 3M tape
It's
like you
from
use for
Bola.
seals?
From Bola.
From Bola. It's
Yeah.
called Duracol, or it's some weird name. I do have a correction on that get racked thing. It's get stacked, not get racked.
Oh, see?
Makes all the
Big
difference in the world.
Big difference.
Get racked
It was better as get racked.
sounds-
I guess they sell wine stacks.
Yeah, I went to the other one. It was totally different.
Yeah, right. Yeah, don't click on that.
Yeah,
Not bad.
Oh, he's still on it.
sorry, I'm back. I'm back now.
What about any suggestions on mag locks with keypads, locking keypads?
Or
And I have a wine room. Somebody wants mag locks with the keypad on it.
Bill had one in his showroom, didn't you, Bill?
Yeah, we've got
Coffee?
that Asa Abloy, the
That's
digital,
Abloy. Yep.
the digital one. They sold those at the glass show through. It was a JLW wholesale or something like that.
JML.
JML, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're out of Texas. They keep them in stock. Those are really good, actually, because
Nice quality.
it's a digital, it works good. You can unlock it from inside, so you're not accidentally locking somebody in there. They can get out. If the battery runs down, there's another kind of a swipe card that you can keep somewhere else in a safe place. So if for some reason the battery's dead and the digital doesn't work, the swipe card still works. So it's pretty good.
Good, good.
We've had good lucks, and they look high tech. They look
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
I'm really jealous of some of the wine rooms. I think it's Brandon at GCS that he's
Yeah.
been showing. He does like the full-on metal fab thing. And we have done a couple of projects. There's a local metal fabricator around here. And he'll have a project, and it's mostly all about building some sort of a metal framing, and then we put the glass in. But man, that's awesome. I wish I had more ability to do that kind of stuff. It looks so cool.
You can, Shannon, just get a local metal guy. You should
Well,
be
we
able
have
to
that
find a guy.
connection. We have that connection with the guy, but it's just he's busy, we're busy, and we try and get together. We've had starts and stops where we're like, okay, we're gonna make this. We're gonna figure this out and keep it going rather than the one-offs we've been doing. But yeah, with time, I'm sure.
And you have to have somebody you can trust. That's the problem.
Yeah.
True.
Like anything else, though, any of your subs.
Yeah.
Or do you have an extra employee that you just want to teach, send them to welding school or hire a welder and do it in-house?
Mhm.
Make them yourself. It's really not that hard. You just need some space to do it. A lot of our local high schools are teaching welding in high school now. They're doing welding, HVAC, auto repair, marine repair.
Nice.
Find the local high school that's already teaching it and give them a project to do.
They still do that?
Yeah. Well, they're bringing it back.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
Oh.
thing.
Yeah.
Now, my grandson's a junior in high school. And they build cars, they build everything.
Yeah.
That shop.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
perfect. It's great. It's great.
Rebuilds motorcycles. He can do everything.
You know what?
I would say,
It's funny. I'm going to tie two things together here. You know, we were starting off about branding and doing social media, and I was reading Andrew Herring's LinkedIn message this morning, and it was pretty interesting how he feels fortunate to meet so many people in this industry. And I started thinking about it. I think of other industries around: welding, plumbing, electrical, roofing. I don't see anybody doing social media posts. Anybody.
Mhm.
We are actually, believe it or not, we're ahead of most trades in what we're doing. I'm on Facebook a lot. I don't see a welding group get together on Wednesday nights. I don't see carpenters. I don't see any of that. As far as I know, I mean, it's the only trade that I've seen, and I'm looking for other trades,
Mhm.
and I don't see it. So, again, kudos to Chris for putting this together. But it's kind of interesting how Andrew's starting to realize what a neat industry we have, and how there's a lot of people in the industry that will share ideas with other people. They don't just keep it to themselves. They're trying to help the whole industry grow. And I think that's the cool thing about this. Glass people are pretty cool.
I echo your statement, Bill. The level of collaboration, I'm just, I regret that I didn't find this years ago, but the level of collaboration and the helpfulness that you all, provide is, I've not seen it in the other trades. I ask other trades because we interact quite frequently, and they felt like I did prior to meeting you guys, that you're on this island by yourself and you're trying to figure it out. So yeah, kudos again. I'll echo your comments. Kudos to Chris and all you all for being so helpful and willing to share your gems of wisdom.
Yeah. And I think Andrew had an eye opener, because we had Andrew on here, once or twice, right, Chris? I mean,
right. Yeah, he showed up before. That's right.
We've had Max on here.
Max has come on. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know how many of you know Max, but the guy, I call him the voice of the glass industry, but Andrew's got the title now because he works for the NGA. But, these guys they get around a lot, and they see what this group is doing. And it's really eye-opening. I think other trades should kind of follow along the same thing.
Yeah, it doesn't, at first, it seems a little strange because this hasn't been the norm in construction, just in general. Not about in glazing, but just in the construction industry, people haven't really been that collaborative. We tend to see each other as competitors, and once you start to collaborate with others and start to share ideas, you start to realize that there are plenty of ideas to go around, and that I'm not really going to lose anything by sharing my knowledge. In fact, I actually gain quite a bit. It gives me an opportunity to kind of work things out, and kind of, there's nothing like hearing yourself say what your process is to realize, wow, I could really improve on this. or wow, hey, I'm really onto something. Or just to hear somebody else talk about how they do it and think, wow, man, that never even occurred to me. I mean, even just like tonight with, Bill talking about how Keith will do that FaceTime thing. I mean, I think that's brilliant. I mean, it's a little thing. It doesn't sound like, rocket science or anything. I mean, something that's right there on your phone. You can use it anytime you want, but I don't, but I might now. And it's amazing how much you really do get out of it once you just kind of become part of a community and start to share ideas with other people. Pretty basic.
Good stuff.
A lot of these things, though, a lot of these great ideas, but at the end of the day, you have to do it. And so we share all these ideas, and I don't want to give anybody that idea. That idea is too good. Well, you actually got to get off your butt and do it. And we may do 10% of these, or 20 or 30%, or take a few gems. But when anybody was afraid of somebody running away with their information, in this group. I mean, just might as well stay off the group.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, because it's like, some of the tools I make at glassgadget.com, that's glassgadget.com. Some of the tools that I offer, people see these things and they're like, oh, I thought of that years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I believe that that's probably true. I mean, none of these ideas are really unique to me. I mean, it's not like I'm so brilliant, I came up with this idea for a little thing that holds something, while you grab your drill, I mean, but I decided to try it. I decided, hey, this would be a fun experiment. Let me see if I can make one of these little things. I got a 3D printer and I made one. And it was like, oh, that almost works. Hey, let me, retry that. I changed this, changed that. And oh, well, hey, it's actually starting to work pretty good. And came up with a few of these ideas that actually other people have found useful. And it kind of blows me away. I mean, I get an order for some things. They want dozens and dozens of these things that I make, and it's like, wow, it's incredible to me that that people find value in these same little things that that I made, even though I probably didn't invent any of this stuff, right? It's just ideas that we've all had, just like never just got around to actually trying to manufacture them or something. And so, Greg, you're right. I mean, it's like an idea isn't worth really anything, but putting it into practice could be super valuable.
I think one of the reasons we might have this, this unique sharing is out of necessity, because you can go out there and you can buy books about how to do carpentry or how to do tile or how to do almost anything in the construction industry except for glass. I mean, you can find YouTube videos and, take them or leave them. You can go on NGA and they've got that glass class, but there's almost nothing about shower glass. When you do see glass, then it's high-rise buildings and windows and storefronts. So I think part of this is kind of out of necessity. Where else are you going to go?
Yeah.
Well, there is nothing.
YouTube, I guess, maybe. I haven't really looked to see what people are posting, but that would be maybe one place. But you're right, Shannon. I think that's great to have all of us together and share all this.
When we were starting our plant, the SBA, we were getting an SBA loan, and they said, you don't have any experience in manufacturing glass. If you could go out there and, take a class or do some training, we'd feel a lot better about that. What are you talking about? We're thinking about contact someone like Bill and ask if we could go to work for him for free for a week or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. That is pretty funny, huh? Yeah, I'll sign up at the local community college, take a glass class.
What do you call well, Bill's got you. What do you call your university, Bill?
My Shower Door University.
Okay.
It's the My Shower Door University. Yeah.
But we needed my shower manufacturing university.
There you go.
I don't know if that one's included in your university course offerings.
So, all right. So I got to tell you this story. This kind of humbling stories, but it's good. It's what you take out of it. So we were nominated for Manufacturer of the Year for the state of Florida. So it's a lot of business. There was 160 something businesses applied. They do a FaceTime. Here we go at FaceTime, right? Did a FaceTime interview. Then they narrowed it down to 30. Then they do a deeper interview and they narrowed it down to 21 finalists. And it was all about processes and procedures and are using the software and what KPIs are you doing and how do you interact with your customers. We didn't end up coming in the top 9. I know that because 9 prizes were given out. So we weren't in the top 9, but it was really humbling because just when you think that, you got it going on and hey, look at, you come out of it and say, man, I got a lot to learn. And then so I go back to the judges, I'd say, please tell me our deficiencies. That's the only way we're going to get better. What did you see in your analysis? And we were the only glass one in it.
Right.
There was medical manufacturing, welding, boat repair, automated lifts, elevator companies, things like that. But it doesn't matter. What they're concerned about is, do you have a process that's scalable, repeatable, can do over and over and over again? And if you do have to make adjustments, can you easily make it and get the word out to everybody on your team? What metrics do you use to see your efficiencies and the percentage of production you're getting? And obviously we didn't score well enough to come in the top 9, but I still learned from it. And I was sitting at a table with 2 of the winners, and we started talking about what metrics they're using, what software using. And I guess those are the things that really got in the judges' favor, by having specific industry related, what they call ISO approved software to track a lot of these things. So it was very humbling, but it just shows when you get bigger and bigger and bigger, there's so many more things that we need to learn. Greg, it's like setting up a dashboard. You know where every single piece of glass is from the time you get it off the cut table. Customer says, "Where's my glass?" Can you say, it's at water jet, ready to get your notches put in, or it's sitting on the L-buck ready to be tempered? You know, it's those type of dashboards they want. They want to know how many panels you do in an hour, how many inches are you polishing per hour. You know, it's those type of things that they're looking for.
Impressive. And you're way ahead of all of us, obviously. So,
and we got a lot to learn too.
You got a lot to learn. Yeah.
We got a lot to learn. And I don't even know if Oldcastle has those KPIs. I really don't.
They can't.
I've been through some of their plants and I don't see it.
No.
But there's so much, and we can get better at that. Then you can analyze and what type of glass are we making money at? Are we charging enough for low iron? Maybe I'm selling low iron too cheap because it costs me so much more. And the markups that we use aren't in accordance with if you did 3/8 clear, 1/2 inch clear. Maybe just the fact of going to low iron, you're actually losing some of your margin.
Right.
And those are the things that you look at.
And that's one of the subjects that I thought people might find interesting. They might find very, very dry. It is when I talk to especially smaller shower guys, they think they're shower guys that are in business, but they're actually business people that happen to sell shower doors.
That's right.
And so
it's true.
So I see a lot of small guys, oh, shower door. Well, no, you run a business. And if the government shut down shower doors tomorrow, I would go run another business. And it might be widgets, it might be whatever it is, but I wouldn't go to work for somebody else because that's just the makeup. So I think a lot of the smaller guys don't know their numbers. They have no idea. What are your materials percentage? What is your labor percentage? How, what are all these numbers? What's your break-even number? What's your gross margin? A lot of these small guys don't know that. And I'm not beating them up. I was the same guy. And once you when you figure those numbers out, you're like, hallelujah. And then you get to the next stage, Bill, which is, well, maybe we're not making money on low iron. We're charging more, but maybe we're not making more.
Yeah. Quarter inch, we're losing money. Get rid of quarter inch, Because
volume doesn't equal profit. And so once you know your numbers, then you can refine your numbers and become profitable.
That's
so
right.
I don't know. And I'm not saying Bill would be more of a guru on numbers than I am, but I spent a lot of time on refining our numbers. So I don't know if people would find that interesting for guys that have grown and learned their numbers somewhat, if that other group would find it interesting, or does everybody know their numbers and we just have a talk of something we all knew about? Is there any feedback on that?
Well, Greg, I'd back yourself up.
Be interested.
I'd back yourself up and look at your numbers before you started manufacturing, because that's a whole different game.
Yeah, I know.
Because you have so much waste. But just look at your numbers, what inventory, what are your turns in your inventory? How much money is sitting there dead that becomes dead inventory over time or gets damaged because of the way you're storing it? There's so much to learn there. What are you doing with your removals? Are you stripping it and getting a high dollar amount for your removals? Because they're paying over $1 a pound. $1 a pound for scrap aluminum now. Sometimes $1.15.
And I'd call that stage 2 or stage 3 almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there are a lot of guys I talk to, they don't even know what their labor is. And I'm not beating them up. They don't know what their materials are. Well,
Sure.
the hardware runs me about, and the glass runs me about, and well, what does that mean? What's the
Yeah.
cost of acquiring a customer? How much does it cost you to go out and measure a job? You know, all those
Not
things.
everybody's a businessman, you know, and a lot of the guys just work for wages. They go out there and go, wow, man, I made $800 on that door. And, you know, a lot of them aren't probably claiming taxes. They don't have workers' comp and all the expenses that a legitimate business does. And I see a lot of new guys in their trucks driving down the road these days.
Sure.
You know,
And those are my favorite guys to compete against when they say, oh, I made $800 on that job. Well, no, you didn't. If you think you're making 50 cents on the dollar at the end of the day, you must know something about that I don't. So, I mean, because those guys will never grow. They'll never get bigger. They'll never be a serious threat.
That's
So,
right.
That's my only comment is if anybody, you know, I'm not a guru of numbers by any means. Bill's way better at it than I am. We've got 22 people. So you get to a certain point and it kind of forces your hand, but it applies all the way down to one guy. And you have to think of yourself of a business that happens to do shower doors. And then things all of a sudden start to come into how much does it cost to go back to a job? How about when you don't finish a job? How about when you service a job? You know, all those things are expensive and you refine them over time. So I didn't know, I mean, that could be terribly dry and people may not be interested at all. But
you did.
I can tell you this, Greg, when I met with you, not only was it eye-opening, but it was humbling to know there's so much more that I need to know. And I'm just scratching the surface, and I'm still trying to get there. In amongst trying to actually install the shower doors every day, and everything else that we do, because it's me and my office manager, and so it's a little bit. I don't know. Maybe this sounds like an excuse, but there's only so many hours in the day to actually do the work and then try to go through the numbers. There has to be a way to bridge that gap somehow. I haven't got there yet, but I'm working on it.
You need a helper.
you might need money. I'm not offering to lend you any money now, Brian. I'm saying you might need.
Now you throw that fish out there. It's just, that was wrong.
Well, I think part of knowing your numbers, I think knowing your numbers is part of being the CEO of your own business. And I like to poke I'll poke myself too, but I like to poke other business owners and say, how much time are you spending as the CEO of your company? Because you look at it, all the Fortune, 500s, and it's like, what's the number one job? What's the most important job in the company? And that's being the CEO. Who's spending time being the CEO of your company? And, not many people. Numbers are definitely a big part of that. But where's your company going? What's the growth? What's the trajectory? What of this, look at the future. Yeah. Why do you exist? Branding, who are you in the first place? I love those kind of conversations. So I'm in.
and that's where I struggle is because I'm spending 30 to 35 hours a week doing the work. Mm-hmm. And then I'm coming back to the shop and catching up on emails and whatever. And then I got to be the other businessman. And maybe I'm just complaining, and I don't know. I don't. Greg's saying, yeah, he's just complaining.
You're whining. You're actually whining, not complaining.
Okay, well, I like a little cheese with that. Well, maybe I'll put some glass around it.
Wine case.
Brian, every single one of us have been there.
Right.
How did you break out of that? That's what I need to know.
It was just time. It seemed like you had to hire someone and go, oh no, here we're taking on a payroll. We're going to go backwards. Right. And it wasn't 3 weeks. And we say, man, that paid off pretty good. And the business came in. Now you need another person. And it's like 2 steps back before you go forward.
Yeah.
You just keep investing in your business, building your processes, following procedures. That way you can replicate it. And then eventually you're going to hire somebody that you're going to put a lot of your day-to-day burden on them. And then you can start strategizing. And where are we going to grow? How are we going to do it efficiently and all of that? Because as you do grow, there's a lot of things that you're going to pick up with efficiencies, but it is tough getting there, getting out of that initial debt.
And where do you want to be? Do you want to be Bill?
Right.
Do you want to be 5 locations, 10 locations, or do you want to be you and 3 crews? What is it that you want?
Right.
Once you know where you want to go,
Yeah.
then make a plan.
We talk about that all the time. You want to be Chris.
Yeah.
You want to just work by yourself, come home for lunch every day, not have to caulk, do whatever you want.
Don't buy any
Hey, I
silicone.
can save a lot of money on silicone.
Sounds like heaven to me.
That's why you're always in a good mood, Chris.
That's it, man. But if you want to grow, I mean, you have to do these things. In the chat room, people are talking, put some comments in there, and someone mentioned that book of the E-Myth, which is an awesome book. If you haven't read that book, read it. It's really good. Even if you don't want to grow and be big, it's great stuff just to know, and it just totally makes sense. You have to be able to, you should set up your business. The gist of it is you should set up your business as though you're going to franchise it, even if you don't plan to. You should build your business to run without you, as if you were just going to build it and sell it off. And it's just, that's the only way that you can grow, is it has to be scalable.
And
So what these guys are talking about is just golden.
Yeah, you got to have it so you got value. So at the end of your working life, you just don't close your doors. You sell it to somebody and it's all there in a package. It's valuable. It's valuable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow.
That flew
What
by.
a great call. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
That went by quick.
Yeah.
yeah, it did.
Got on a good topic.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. All right. Well, I'm taking notes. I don't know about you.
All right, till next week, guys.
Next week.
All right,
Hey,
guys.
see you next
Have a good
time.
night.
Hi, everybody.
Everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, guys.